Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. If you're new to the channel, I'm Curtis, and today we're doing one more Ventures Shed to Track series build. So we're out here at the Mundaring Power Lines, and behind me here we've got Jordys stock as a rock SR5 Toyota Hilux. Basically, it's got no modifications at all, and the whole idea behind this series is showing you how well a stock vehicle can perform versus a heavily modified one. What you see here is the car in its standard condition as what you'd get out of the factory showroom. It's got the 18-inch alloy rims, standard 31-inch tyres, the factory Toyota bull bar, and a canopy. So now we're going to go and see how well it performs off-road and show you what modifications are really worthwhile. That actually went pretty good.
Yeah man, honestly, I was really surprised with how that went. Walked through. Let's go back to the shed.
Alright guys, so we're back from the power lines now. As you can see, Jordys Hilux actually went really well considering it is bog stock. Pretty much we got all the mods here. I'm going to pass you over to Jordy's going to run you through with what we're actually going to be doing. But first off, we're starting with the lift and tyres, but he's going to run you through what we got.
Yeah, good.
I've gone with the Maxxis Razzrs all-terrains 285s on the 16-inch dynamic imitation bead lockers. So I've also gone in the front end with the Bilstein adjustable 2 to 4-inch struts, and then in the back end I've gone with the long travel Bilsteins. For the Diff Drop I've gone with Caloffroad and also the Caloffroad Adjustable Upper control arms. And now we're going to take out the old suspension and chuck in the new.
Cue the bangers. Right, so we've just ripped the full front suspension out. You can see here, this is the new strut. This is the old strut. Boom. That's gonna look so good. These are the old up control arms. We got these Caloffroad full adjustable ones to fix your camber when you lift it. So that's going in. Nathan's just trying to whack that one in now. And yeah, going well so far. Onward.
Pretty happy.
Yeah. So this is your sliding ball joint, pretty much. You've got to make sure that this side faces in like that when you put it in. This slots in and that bottom rectangular plate locks it in there. Washer goes on and you thread it on like that. And basically once you put your tyres on and everything like that, set the car and then you lock this off so you have your right camber. As you can see right now, we've pretty much got the front all done. Just a little tip when you're putting all this together yourself, if you are doing it, leave the upper control arm loose and grab yourself a jack so you can jack up your lower control arm so you can actually slot it into this ball joint. Otherwise it's almost impossible because you're fighting against the strut. Alright, so we've got the front suspension in. It's looking pretty badass. The tyres here look like they're going to scrub on this guard here, so pretty much the plan is we're going to unbolt that and now we're going to move on to the rear. So for the rear we're running just an extended 2-inch shackle for now, so we're going to have the 3-inch in the front, 2-inch in the rear without changing the leaf springs. Going to be running the factory Toyota leaf springs. So the reason why we're going to run the factory Toyota leaf springs is because in the back of the canopy at the moment it's completely gutted, doesn't have anything in there, so when we set the canopy up with all the camping stuff in there, the fridges and all that whatnot, then we're going to get custom leaf springs made up, long travel ones to suit the weight load as well, because that's something I didn't do and I had to end up backtracking and buying 2 sets of leaf springs down the track. So in the back end we got these long travel Bilstein shocks. I'm also running Bilstien gear in my N80 because that's just what I went with and it's pretty good, and Jordys going with them as well. So yeah, we're going to get onto that now and move on to the back. Alright, so we've got the old shackle out. That's this one here, and this is our new extended shackle here. So you can see the difference, it's quite significant. So that's what we're running to get our extra height and more travel in the back end in the meantime, and then we'll move on to the leaves. Alright guys, so it's day 2 now. We finished off the rear suspension last night. It was pretty late, we didn't really film much, but now we're going to get straight into the diff drop. Right, so we got the diff drop laid out here just on the floor. This is what it comes with in the kit. You just got your diff plates here, your bushers, a few nuts and bolts, and your little extended breather pipe there. So now we're just going to get into it, start pulling out the old diff plates that are actually in the car from factory, and we're going to swap it out with this stuff. So I've got the diff drop out. This is the old plates here, that's the diff bracket there, that's obviously the new one. So it comes with these orange bushers. I've just popped them in just like that, that's how it go. Basically this one just used to bolt onto the diff like that and bolt onto the cross member, but this is super heavy duty, so that bolts up to your mount, and then these 2 bolts here go to those bolts just there. And we've got another mount that goes across in here along your top cross member just here. So it basically runs along there like that, and then we chuck a new rubber bush mount up in there. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I just laid it all out, chucking the bushings in. These are like the little washer plates you got, comes with that. Also I got to smash this out and put it back into this mount. And yep, after we do that, we're good to go and ready to start throwing it back in. So I've just taken out the main bushing mount, and basically what you have to do is you have to set it up and smash it with a hammer to get it out. So when you're doing that, make sure you use copper hammer so you don't damage the thread, because if you do damage the thread, you're in trouble. So yeah, copper hammer when you're doing that. Basically, I've already done it, I didn't film it, so this just slots out just like this, and then you get the other mount, which is just here. This pretty much 2 and 2 together, you put it all back together and then slot it back in on the cross member there, and that's what your diff sits back onto. So I've just assembled this, that's what we're working with. So basically what I did was, to set this all back up, I just used the vice socket to line up the splined washer here and just tapped it on nicely. That's all back together, and now that's going to go back in the replacement. Alright guys, so I've just finished putting the diff drop in. Sorry I didn't film any of it, but I'm going to throw a couple of clips in. This is the little mounting bracket that I just assembled before. As you can see how the diff's just sitting on it, looks pretty good. This is the pumpkin bracket going to the diff. It suggests that when you're putting this in, have your jack underneath it so you can wobble it and line the bolts up, maybe a podgy bar in there because it was quite difficult lining that all back up. Now that the diff drop's in, we're going to show you how the CV angle's looking. This is sitting at about 2.5 inch lift at the moment. You can see the angle is actually really good compared to mine anyway. This is basically how you want your CV angle to look. It's pretty level. It's got a little bit of angle on it, but should be right. Alright guys, that's it for another episode. Thanks for watching. As you can see behind me, the lift is in. She's looking beast. Next week we're doing the bar work, so stay tuned for that. Cheers.